So, I wasn't going to do this, but the Lord, I'm assuming, told me to go ahead and do it, I'm going to talk about Kandi Burruss' speak on it and the things she had to say. So, let's get into it. Okay. So, Kandi Burruss, she has her speak on it. Well, let me hit it. Speak on it. I don't know. It's a different tone, different key, whatever. Speak on it. That's way too high. I don't know. Anyway, Kandi has to speak on it. So y'all know what it is. Y'all watch them. I've been watching them for years. And, she reviews the show every single week. And she had a lot to say on this particular episode. There's a lot of tea that we did not know about. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about it. I was going to say briefly, but y'all know how I do. It's never brief, right? So, yeah, let's get into it. I just jotted down some notes, some things I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to go over everything that she talked about. I'm just going to talk about mainly the things that I didn't know. Or, while watching the show, what really happened behind the scenes. And even things that they did not show on the show. And even, past drama, because, my God, these ladies have been knowing each other since they were kids, and they have been in the group for, 20 plus years. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if this Xscape movie, now they're talking about they want a series, but I don't know if the series or movie is going to happen at this point. I don't know what's the future of the sisterhood. I feel bad, because regardless of the music, I'm here for the music. I'm a fan. But these women are sisters at the end of the day. Blood sisters, some of them are blood sisters, but they're sisters. They've been knowing each other since they was 14, 15 years old. And now they're all in their late 40s or early 50s. That's a long time to know somebody. So it's just unfortunate how all this is happening. I don't know how they're gonna recover. I don't, but let's talk. Tasha's album is coming out, I think, April 7th. Her gospel album. I think it's called Conversations with God. The songs are beautiful. I heard all three of them. Afraid, I'm Yours, and I think Stay. I'm Yours is my jam. It's a beautiful song. It's really unfortunate that Tasha is getting this edit. Because you can't sell a product if people don't like you. It's just reality television does some people good and then it does other people bad. It just has not been good for Tasha. This TV thing, it really hasn't. Anyway, okay. So Kandi talked about the scene with Coco, her son Jalen, herself, and Tasha. And she was just like, it was a lot that was happening in that scene. She said that Tasha was even more rude than what the camera showed. And she said that even Coco was just looking at her like, what's tea? Speaking of Coco, SWV is like super cool with Tasha. Especially Coco. But Coco said her and Tasha's always had a relationship. But I see SWV, all of them, they commented on all Tasha's posts on Instagram and everything. I'm just like, well, child, this is interesting. They have chosen a side. I said, Lord, it ain't gonna be no tour. Y'all, we ain't getting nothing from them. Together anyway. We ain't getting nothing. So, yes, shouts out to my boy Anthony. Yes, he's everything. So let me see. So yeah, she talked about that scene, and apparently, she said that once Coco and her son left, her and Tasha had a big blow up. And apparently Bravo did not film it because they said that it really didn't have anything to do with the show, the stuff they was talking about. And when you mad, you bring up stuff from years ago. Yeah, and I remember when we was 8 years old and you stole my doll. I mean, we take it back there because why not? We already in a heated debate. I'm just gonna bring up everything I don't like about you. You know? Hey. Remember when you took my pimento cheese sandwich on the bus back then, bitch? You remember that? You know. Might as well. Let's just get it all out. So, she said it got real ugly. And Kandi says they talk about her tears and stuff all the time. But she said Natasha was the one that was crying during that whole scene, and it just got real nasty between them. I was like, Lord have mercy. This is why I don't understand why this is just 6 episodes. Like, how are y'all doing this? Those editors are some powerful people, I tell you. Because my God. I'm sure there's so much happening. Still to this day, is stuff happening with Xscape. Outside of SWV. And it's not being shown. And we don't even know what's going on. I mean, my God. It's been so much that the cameras don't catch. This would be the good stuff, too. Child, y'all hear about Eva? Eva Marcel, child, she filed for divorce against her husband. All these years, child, everything that glitter ain't gone. God don't like ugly. He ain't too particular about pretty either. I just want to say that. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna pray for the Sterlings. Eva Sterling, we're gonna pray. And Eva ain't even a housewife. See, she got a whole storyline right now, and she ain't even on the show. You see, there's so much going on. We didn't get to film Portia's wedding. It's just Cynthia done got a divorce. It's just a lot. I know Cynthia coming back on the Housewives this season, but it's just so much occurring, and Anyway, back to this. Let me see. So after that, she started to talk about, how Tasha is upset about how Tamika's kind of taking on a more creative role. Kandi said that Tasha was in charge of the creative role, the set list, all that kind of stuff way back when they were younger. And, if you guys know, Tasha is the oldest out of all of them. Tasha was actually in a whole nother group. But then they put her with Xscape, and so she's been with Xscape. But Tasha's always is like 2 or 3 years older than Kandi, or maybe even more. Kandi is the baby. Tamika and Tiny, I think, are the same age. They in the middle, and then Tasha was the oldest. So it's like literally 12th, 11th, 10th. She was just like, Tasha had a real big issue with that, which we saw that on the show. But it's just real interesting. I'm like, well, it seems to me that Tasha don't want things to change. She wants things to remain the same, how they used to be way back when. But these people are grown. Everybody has life experience now, music experience, all kind of different experiences. And it's no longer a situation where we're just going to sit back and let you lead anymore, just because that's what we did back in the day. I also didn't know myself, back then, but now I do. And here's what's getting ready to happen. So, let me see. Moving on from that, she talked about the Akbar situation with, y'all know her cousin Akbar. Ratchet as can be. Who's on Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta and stuff, and she got into it with Lily. I felt like Akbar should have stayed out of it. And Kandi did as well, but that's her cousin, family gonna take up for family. But do Akbar got her kids? Anyway. She said she's not mad at SWV, even though they may be mad at her, but she's cool with SWV. It's not a problem, blah, blah, blah. She talked about her favorite group has always been Salt and Pepper, even though they rap, push it real good. And her favorite group, Kandi's favorite group, is actually my favorite group of all time, which is En Vogue. Favorite R&B female group of all time, En Vogue. Who's my favorite group? So I was talking about this with Anthony, who's a huge Xscape fan and great singer. Let me see. What did I say? My top 5 favorite female groups of all time. I think I said number 1, En Vogue. Number 2, Xscape. Number 3, Zayn, pronounced Janae. Number 4, Brownstone. And number 5, Destiny's Child, I think. But honorable mention to the Spice Girls. Y'all, I was a huge Spice Girl. Too much of something, it's not enough. Y'all, I was a huge. I love Spice Girls. I'm not even gonna start singing because y'all get me every time. I'm not gonna sing. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends, y'all. Okay. Friendship never ends. Y'all stop. You have got to give. It's so easy. That's the way it is. Okay. After that, they talked about Kandi talked about they got offered another season of Still Kicking It. But Kandi was the one that refused to do it because she said it just wasn't good for her psyche, and it was just a lot. It was a lot that was happening on the show, and also at that time, Tamika and Tasha were still cool. So, like forever, they've always been their sisters, so they always gonna have each other back, right, wrong, and indifferent. It's not necessarily the case now. But back then, that's how it always was. And she was just like, she was just tired of the mess. This was also around the time when Xscape 3 was a thing. Tiny, Tasha, and Tamika. And so, it was just like, Lord, she just couldn't take it, which I understand. And you already got to deal with stress just in normal life, and then you also got to deal with the housewife stress, and now Xscape stress, which is way deeper and different. These are like your sisters, so I get it, but I was just like, child, because I was wondering why. Now, if this show has a second season, who's coming back? Because SWV about done with Xscape. Kandi is not on good terms with Tasha. Tasha is not on good terms with anybody. So it's just a mess. I wonder what's tea? I just wonder. But this show is too good to not have a season 2. I mean, come on, y'all. We have to see some kind of resolution from this. Because this show just not going to end on good terms for nobody. Let me see. She got on what Tasha said in an interview when she said that Kandi took 4 hours to record The Softest Place on Earth. This was when Tasha was refusing to sing because everybody was coming at her about she sang all the leads. So she explained. I talked about that in my review. I'll put it in the bottom bar below. She talked about how each girl went in there to sing the Softest Place on Earth, but she said Kandi was too hard. She said Tiny was too nasally. I don't know what Tamika was. But, Kandi was like, well, that's a lie because, nobody takes 4 hours to record a song. And how would that work? And I said the same thing. I was like, that don't even sound right for professionals who've been doing this for years at this point to go in there and record a song and it takes 4 hours. Like, that's a lot of money and stuff. And I'm just like, what was Jermaine? But Jermaine wasn't there. I was just like, yeah, that didn't sound right to me. Let me see. She also talked about, let me see. Oh, okay. So she talked about a time when Kandi was mad at her and yelling and crying about her singing lead. Kandi explained that. She said that no, she was upset. She was talking to the producers about Tasha singing lead because they were trying to be shady. Apparently, it's a situation where Tasha had already recorded the song. It was a Tasha song, right? But Kandi's voice is very signature. And when you hear Kandi's voice, you associate it with Xscape. It's, at the end of the day, Kandi's voice is very... It's the signature sound of Xscape. Kandi's voice. Kandi led a lot of their hit songs, right? So, she said that the reason why she always said they were trying to set up the Traces of My Lipstick album for Tasha's solo was because of stuff like this. Tasha had already recorded damn near the whole song. And she said they didn't even call Tiny and Mika to come down there and record it. They just wanted Kandi. And I was just like, oh, so did they make it sound like, an Xscape record, but it was really just Tasha all on it. And Kandi even said back in the day they used to up her voice on their records, up her background vocals on their records, because of that sound that Kandi has. It's very unique to her. And I said, ooh, that's shady. That's a mess. Bless Tamika's heart. She's let a lot of stuff go throughout the years. She has really just stood by her sister, because that's my sister. She really has, bless her heart. Xscape needs Ayanna. I don't know what Ayanna's doing. What's Ayanna's real name? Rhonda? Roro. I don't know what she's doing, but she needs to come out of retirement, because you still got people to heal and help. And put me on the list as well after them. So yes, I was just like, Lord have mercy, Jesus, Father. Let me see. Kandi talked about people making fun of her voice and stuff. And she says that it's interesting that her group member is going to participate on making fun of my voice because you're my group member. And at the end of the day, you don't have any hits without me being a part of it. And I said, well, now that's true. Now us as viewers or fans or non-fans or whoever we are, I'm a fan. But I'm just saying in general of just people talking about you, then that's just people, whatever. That's just the internet. It's just the world. But your own group member dog you out, which is true. When, to be fair, Latasha don't have any success as a solo artist, not really, compared to all her success with Xscape. And I don't know how this gospel album gonna do in the name of Jesus, but the people not like you right now, Tasha. And so I don't know how you expect to sell records when people don't, when you have this edit, honey. Maybe I need to host a reunion show with Xscape, me and Anthony. Maybe we need to, we could be unbiased and just because we got one side of the truth, we got the other side of the truth. Everybody has their own truth, and then we got the truth. And I just think it's just a whole mix of stuff and foolishness and stuff. But ain't nobody gonna be willing to tell the truth except for a couple of people. We gonna see. Let me see. Kandi talked about her song, I stay prayed up, that keeps me going, or something like that. She said it was #1 on the gospel Billboard charts. I didn't know that. But I do remember that song. She talked about Tasha singing them Tide Runs since 93. I said, Lord have mercy. She also talked about, basically that Kandi just don't want to sing with Tasha anymore. Which is so sad for me. I throw shade, I give my commentary, etc. But it really is sad at the end of the day. Because us fans, we ain't gonna get nothing. And then, we still got Xscape, but it's not the four. It's not what we remember. It's not Tiny, Tamika, Tasha, Kandi. It's not. So anyway, let me see. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna talk about is she talked about Tasha on that same interview where she was talking about the softest place on earth and then recording blah blah blah. I think it was on the same interview or another one, whatever. Anyway, Tasha talked about how Tiny and Kandi made her and Tamika. This was back when Kandi and Tamika wasn't cool, really. But anyway, or they was working on it, and she made Tiny and Kandi made the sisters pay for them when they didn't show up to an event. So Kandi explained this. She said that her and Tiny had COVID, and they were set to perform somewhere. And because they had COVID, they couldn't do it. But they were planning on being there. They had even arrived in the city. I think she said South Carolina, which is where I'm at, child. Spotbird. So, she talked about that situation, and she said, well, that's why they wasn't there. Now, I don't know if the sisters knew that they had that, but I'm assuming they did. But anyway, they still advertised that situation like the entire Xscape would be there. But Tamika and Tasha, they still decided to do the show on their own. And they kept marketing like the entire Xscape was going to be there. When apparently, I think they did, backtrack, I think they did know that Tiny and Kandi wasn't going to make it. But they used their name basically to sell tickets, and, when it was just the sisters that showed up. And so Tiny felt like they still deserved to get paid for that situation. And I don't see a problem with that. And so that's another thing that Tasha tried to make a big deal. And it's a mess. Look. It's 2 more episodes left of SWV and Xscape, the Queens of R&B. And I just don't know how it can get any worse. So it got to get better at this point. Well, how unfortunate. How unfortunate and sad. Y'all better stay prayed up. My gosh. With that said, I'm MrChalaki. MrChalaki on Google+. Follow me at Xscape on Instagram and Twitter. At Xscape89 on Snapchat, Chase King on Facebook, MrChalaki on Cash App, and PayPal. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later.